wanted to take I wanted to take count of actually how many lives I've been doing, but I was going to start over really on Sunday, and I guess I will start on Sunday this coming up week because tomorrow Thursday, so we literally only have one more day until the end of the work week. So that's what I will be doing. But today we're talking about humans and attention spans. Today, humans have, and this is all of this is factual information. Humans today have our attention span today, as far as humans. QJ, welcome. Our attention span today as humans is less than a goldfish. That means 8 seconds. 8 seconds is our it's the average human attention span. Now that doesn't mean that you're that human that's attention span equals 8 seconds. I always put myself in the category that I'm above average. I'm not just the average person. So I try to do things that, well, I ain't gonna say try, but I do things to separate myself from the norm. All right. But the average human today has an attention span less than a goldfish. That means a goldfish have more will be more attentive than us as of right now. 8 seconds, which is terrible. And I feel like we can work on it and we can change this around, but it's going to take time. It's going to definitely take time, and it's going to take work. A lot of us uh, might not want to do this. A lot of us might not even want to hear this, but it's going to take work, and we need work. So I'm not going to say put the phones down. I know putting the phone down definitely will help, but the main thing that's going to help is to find some type of hobby, some type of skill, some type of activity to supplement the time that we use on the phone. That's going to definitely help and motivate us to do better. And as far as um, being attentive to one another, one thing that I have to work on, that I work on, that I'm working on, that I need to work on more is being attentive when I'm on the phone, especially when I'm on the phone with my little shorty, when I'm on the phone, even with my family. Uh, and I am attentive to, and I'm attentive, but whenever I guess I get bored, I tend to start fumbling and messing with my phone, right? Now, one thing I can give myself credit for is whenever I'm in person, like in person with my family member, with my little shorty, anybody, I don't have to have my phone. I don't have to even mess with my phone. But that's when I'm in person. And I feel like, that one on one interaction is way better than digital interaction, you know. Well, I mean, FaceTime is cool. That's good. And I appreciate the advancement of technology. I do. But it's nothing like that one on one interaction. Like I can feel you. That one on one interaction is tangible. That means I can touch you, I can feel you, I can see you. Um, that means way more than me just digitally seeing you, just like y'all seeing me right now. This conversation is good, right? But it would be better if we had a place, if we had an actual place where we could meet up and you could physically see me, you could physically touch me, physically ask me a question, and physically hear my voice. And yeah, it'd be better. And honestly, guys, that's what we were meant that's what we were meant to be. We were meant to be a blessing to others and to have interaction with others and to service others, okay? I'm not saying you can't do it online, but I feel like the it takes away the main priority of us as people, okay? So, like I say, I don't know if our attention span is going to drop any lower or if it's going to just be at a constant rate. One thing that I can say, anytime I'm cutting my clients, right, and they always have their phone. I have the TV. I always have the TV on. You're the best. Appreciate it. So, um, when I'm cutting my clients hair, right, I always have the TV on, but they always have their phone in their hand. So anytime they're bored or they don't want to look at the TV, they're scrolling. And every now and then I'm looking because I'm over them and I'm cutting hair. I'm looking over their shoulders and I'm watching what they're looking at. And this this stat is definitely true. In 8 seconds, honestly, I feel like they might be gaslighting a little bit. I feel like the attention span might be a little bit shorter than 8 seconds because the way we scroll and keep scrolling is at a fast rate. It's at a extremely fast rate. When something grabs your attention, you're gonna stay on a subject or a topic or some content for a little bit longer than 8 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, right? I mean, literally, rapidly scrolling through, just looking at your phone, scrolling through. That's why I propose whenever you have the time, find a skill, find a trade, find something that will hold your attention and better you as a person. Because if you don't, guys, it's only going to get worse. And it was meant to be this way. Why? Because the higher ups, the people that's in charge over us, right? As far as control, mind control, they just want us to be brainwashed. They want us to be in a hypnotic state of mind. And the only way to keep us in a hypnotic mind state, right, is to constantly feed us content. Constantly feed us content. Content that we might agree with, content that we might not agree with, content that's controversial, content that's going to piss us off, content that's going to make us happy, right? Guys, it was a recent study that showed that the average person touches their phone about 2,600 times a day. 2,600? That's crazy. That's crazy. We touch our phone over 2,600 times a day. And we only have an 8 second attention span. That definitely means that we are cooked as a society. But that doesn't mean that we're well done, right? That doesn't mean that you can throw the pot out and start over. We definitely can. I'm just speaking metaphorically right now. Great topic as always. This is interesting. So it's ridiculous to sit here and think about. Yeah, but it's true. Right now, we're probably doing more than one thing. It's hard for us just to stay attentive at one thing. And that's why I don't mind having a schedule, a full schedule, especially with me being online. 70% of my day is literally online, and the rest is, person to person, right? And I don't even think it's 70%, maybe be like 50%. I'll say about 40% is online. And I like to keep myself busy because if I'm not keeping myself busy, if I'm not creating content, what would I be doing? I'm indulging in content, right? I'm consuming content. I don't want to be that person that's always consuming content. I want to be the person that's putting out the content, right? That's what I want to do. Now, you might not want to be a content creator, and it's okay. It's definitely okay. And I tell this to people all the time, just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to absolutely work for you. No, it's not. It's not. But one thing I can say is some of these strategies that I have, some of these suggestions that I have, um, might work for you if you try, but you got to try them. Okay? You got to try them because if we keep scrolling as a society, and I'm just talking about as a whole, right? We're only going to be brain dead, guys. We're going to be brainwashing. We're going to be so uh, hypnotized to content that we're not going to be able to think for ourselves. We already not be able to. We already there, guys. All right, we're already there. And it's quite scary because anytime we see something or something might that a video might be suggested to us, we have to click it, or we see something um, in our carts, whether it be Amazon, Temu, or Sheen, or TikTok. We feel like we have to buy. We don't have to do that. Like, have control over your mind. We definitely need to have more control over our mind. There's nothing wrong with putting this device down for a little bit right? There's nothing wrong with turning the TV off for a little bit, grabbing a book, right? And just reading. Guys, it's a different world in these books. All right, now, not all books have pictures in them. Not all books have pictures in them, and it's okay. And if you're one of those people that you like pictures in all your books, I just suggest you go to a bookstore and you find those type of books. But these books help us to imagine. These books help us to open our mind and to think of new ideas, and it helps us get away, right? It just helps us get away. And not only that, it keeps us informed, depending on what type of books that you're reading. So I always like that's my go-to. I love reading books, and I have so many books. And honestly, I think that's what I'm gonna get for myself for Christmas. I need to get a little bookshelf, a small bookshelf, so I can keep all of my books on, because I really do love reading. Let's get to some of these questions. QJ, I promise you, I'm not ignoring you. So QJ said, "Yep, cut the TV on and don't even look at it for hours or first bit yet. Be on the phone. Yep, so true. Very dangerous, and that's exactly what they want. Plus, you actually feel better taking a break from your phone, especially social media. Yeah, you definitely do. You definitely do. So one thing about me, I definitely be having the TV on, and sometimes I'll take a break and I'll watch it. One thing, okay, so when I was younger, I used to hate texting. I used to hate texting, right? I couldn't stand just texting. Like, call me and talk to me on the phone. Like, I was a big talker. I talked to you on the phone for a long time, but I was in a different mind state. The older I became, really like 2 years ago, I'm like, I don't even really need to talk on the phone like that. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'd rather have somebody in person, and we can sit and you can watch what I got to do. Like, I'm willing to put in the time on this right here. I'm willing to put the time and put content online so I can have whatever content that I'm uploading online will be a passive stream of income. But it took me a while before I got to that point. Before then, when I was younger, I was always talking on the phone. Like, I wouldn't talk to a woman if she didn't like physically talking on the phone. That's just how I was. But now, since I'm older, I understand. Like, you cannot. How can you be on the phone the whole entire time and get your work done? There's no way. You need to think. Like, putting this down and just literally thinking or utilizing this while you're thinking is the best way to focus, guys. Not using this and being on one of them apps and scrolling and looking at videos. There's no way you're going to be able to think. There's no way you're going to be able to think. So that's why right now in 2025, our attention spans as humans is lower than a goldfish, which is a slap in the face. It's literally a slap in the face for us, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. That should really upset you, okay? Plus, actually feel better. Take okay. It should feel it should feel really disrespectful just knowing that a little goldfish have way more attention, have a larger attention span than us, right? So we should do something about that. And like I said, there's several different ways to do that. And my number one way of retraining your mind and refocusing your mind is developing a new skill, a new trade, a hobby, right? Working, right? You want to work some type of work that doesn't require you to use your phone. Like that right there is going to keep you focused, especially if you have an 8 hour shift, a 9 hour shift, and you cannot touch your phone. That's one of the best ways to refocus, to lock in, and to really get your attention span back stronger again. Because honestly, if you don't have a strong attention span, there's no way you're going to be able to have a good relationship with anybody, whether it be business, whether it be intimate, whether it be any type of relationship, period. You have to have some type of attention span. Because if you don't know how to pay attention and you can't pay attention to me, I really don't want you around. Man, I don't want you as a significant other. And I don't want you as a business partner. And I don't want you as a friend. Okay? So just think about all of that. Um, Honestly, sometimes even with myself, and I'll be having to tell my shorty too, is she very spicy, like for real. She's spicy at times, and sometimes she think I'm ignoring her, and I promise you, I definitely don't be ignoring, yeah, ignoring her. It's just sometimes like my mind just be going different places, and sometimes I need to be reminded what you're talking about. But that's a different topic. You always want to make sure you have somebody that's locked in on you, and that y'all have similarities, and that y'all agree with some of the same things, right? That's going to keep you locked in. But as far as having an attention span, you have to get better with this. We as people have to get better with this. And like I said, the best way to do it is to put the phones down, cut the TV off, develop a skill trade, practice, 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 put that time in. And guys, you definitely will see a difference in the way your attention span develops, and it will become stronger. Okay, so guys, let's think about that. It's no way these little goldfish, should have a greater attention span as us. We are the greatest invention on God's green earth. Human beings are so smart, and we have the ability to do so much. But right now, the higher powers want to make us brain dead, and want to control our minds so they can just use us for straight work. Okay, so they can use us for straight work. Anybody can say, "Oh, robots coming." It's cool. Robots is going to be here. We're not worried about the robots. Robots been here for years, guys, for years. Now you're just starting to see more robots that kind of human like robots, and they're called humanoids. That's what they're called, humanoids. Those are robots that look like humans, but robots been here. They've been here. And no matter how many robots they are in the world, they're never going to be able to take our place. Just know that. You know why? Because robots cannot reproduce. They cannot reproduce. Humans can reproduce at a faster rate than a robot. So just remember that, guys. All right, just remember that. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk your head off. I gotta go to my other page, and I have to talk about some more stuff. But let's just think about that. All right, QJ. uh, Plus, actually, I actually put my phone in the other room on purpose at times just to get away, go and do whatever. It's so refreshing. That's why I love to leave it on silent as well. I know you better keep that thing on all silence when I'm talking to you. Absolutely agree. Yep, that's very unattractive for anyone, for real, for real. All right, cool, 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 cool. Nah, that's definitely a great technique. So QJ said sometimes she leave her phone in another room, sometimes unattended, um, so she doesn't get any distractions, right? So she won't be distracted, and that's a really good way. That's a great technique. I would definitely write that down for my people who need different techniques and different suggestions so they can get their attention span stronger. Um, Great way of making sure that you lock in with your mind. But until the next time, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe so you can stay notified. It's Phil Randolph. We just finished talking about today how our attention spans in 2025 is shorter than a goldfish. All right, let's do something to change that. Until the next time, like, share, subscribe so you can stay notified. And I'm out.